We are live. Please go ahead.
Yeah. A very good afternoon to all the attendees, and thank you all for joining this session in time. I, Professor Umesh Gurnani, the Head of Department for Mechanical Engineering at UEM Jaipur, welcome you on behalf of UEM Jaipur, GEM SHOM Green Building Council, and ISHRE Jaipur chapter to be an important part of this event. So right now, along with me in panel, we have Professor Dr. Vishwajoy Chatterjee, Vice Chancellor for University of Engineering Management, Jaipur, Professor Dr. Aniruddha Mukherjee, Dean Academics for UEM Jaipur, Mr. Harish Pushpakar, Executive from SHM GEM, and Mr. Shubhabrat Rath, and Mr. Kapil Megrani. Uh, So we have two main important guests and the keynote speakers for the day, Mr. Shubhabrat Rath, Joint Director SHM GEM Green Building Certification Program. And we also have Mr. Kapil Megrani, who is the Director of Prakriti Group and President-elect ISHRE Jaipur chapter. So I welcome you both, Mr. Shubhabrata and Mr. Kapil, in this panel today. And thanks to both of you for agreeing to be engaged in this panel discussion on green building and sustainable development goals. So we all know like SHM has initiated a GEM Sustainability Green Certification Program with an objective to promote environmental friendly green building design and construction. Through this initiative, SHM awards the sustainability certification rating to housing, urban development, residential, commercial, hotels, school, colleges, and factory buildings and developments. So that's a wonderful initiative by SHM, and all existing and new upcoming buildings can participate in this program. So since today we'll talk about green buildings, let me brief a little in general about what exactly green buildings mean. Green or sustainable building defines the construction healthier, more energy efficient and eco-friendly buildings. A green building uses less energy, water and natural resource, creates less waste and is healthier for people living inside compared to standard building. Green building is practice of creating structures and using process that are environmentally responsible and resource efficient throughout a building's life cycle from sitting to design, construction, operation, maintenance, renovation and reconstruction. So this practice expands and complements the classical building design concerns of economy, utility, durability and comfort. Green building is also known as sustainable or high performance building. So we do have, hello. Uh, So we do have two experts in our panel who will be talking about it today. And before we move ahead from our panel itself, like to call our Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Dr. Vishwajoy Chatterjee, to address the attendees and brief about the foundation of UEM Jaipur. So it's over to you, sir.
Okay, so good afternoon to all listeners over here, and I thank all of you for joining here in time. And I request the organizers to kindly give me the screen sharing permission so that I can also see the entire. I can also show the entire audience part of the university to which I belong. I belong to the University of Engineering and Management, UEM Jaipur, and today's program is being conducted by ASSOCHAM GEM in association with ISHRE Jaipur and University of Engineering and Management, UEM Jaipur. So I'm here to introduce our university, UEM Jaipur, and I'll also take this opportunity to tell a little bit about few initiatives to make our campus a green campus. So this is my about me, but I want to share my screen also. If you kindly allow me, then I can share my screen. I will request the organizers to kindly allow me to share my screen.
Deepakji, can you give me the rights? Yeah, Mr. Chatterjee. Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm waiting for it. No problems, but in the meantime, let me tell you that University of Engineering and Management, now I'm there. So this is the University of Engineering and Management. I believe everybody can see my screen now. University of Engineering and Management, very briefly, it is a university established by the government of Rajasthan back in 2011 by the Act number 5. of 2012 and 2011, we were established by an ordinance of the government of Rajasthan. Now, it has been a long journey, and in this journey, the students who have passed out, they're doing good. They're present all over the country and abroad in important positions in different industries, and many of them are associated with sustainable construction also. So that makes it relevant for us to be associated in this program and also organize this program in association with ASSOCHAM JAM. It has been a pleasure to be associated with them in all their initiatives. So about UEM Jaipur, as I was saying, we are QS approved. We are ranked in the gold category overall and diamond category in placement of students. And we are ranked third in Rajasthan by the Institution Innovation Council of Ministry of HRD, Government of India. We are 4 times consecutive champions of Rajasthan by NPTEL, which is a common exam platform for all students, by the Ministry of HRD, Government of India again. We are located in Gurukul, which is near Sikar Road, which is on Sikar Road near Udaipuria More. We are called Gurukul because our ambience is like an ashram. And if you pass through the Sikar Road, if you pass through that highway on the right side, we are straight away visible. This is what I was talking about. We are ranked third by Ministry of HRD, Government of India under the Institution Innovation Council. And NPTEL, we are 4 times champion. We are approved by UGC, and we are also approved by AICTE and many other organizations as is needed for the different platforms. We have been doing good in placements of students. We are focused towards placement of students, and we have been doing very good. And that is one way through which we like to introduce ourselves, that we believe that the taste of fruit is in eating, and our students are doing good means the fruit is tasty. Anyway, so about the university, you see the first building. This is our first building, and straightforward, the first thing that you see is the campus is a green campus. And let me proudly say in this platform that in the campus, we have around 1,500 trees all around the campus. And as you can see the first building like that, every building in the campus is all surrounded by trees. We have around 9 buildings in the campus, and all are surrounded by trees on all sides. So we like to call ourselves a green campus. We are proceeding towards better and better greenery. And this is the campus. As you can see, it's all around trees all around. It's full of greenery. As you can see, as you walk through the campus, you get to see the greenery all around. So very quickly, a 3D view of the university will make it clear. I want to show it once. I will take less than a minute, and I will complete this entire talk within 10 minutes, my introduction part within 10 minutes. I believe you can see the video very quickly. This is the campus, and as you can see, it's all green. It's greenery all around the campus. As you move through the campus, these are the blocks. So this is the whole campus where you see the hostel blocks, faculty quarters, everywhere it is all around greenery. And we have been taking a lot of initiatives lately to make it greener and greener. I believe so I think okay. Can you kindly mute, please? Kindly mute. Can you kindly mute, please? Okay. So this is the thing I was talking about. We are a green campus. Now, to make it greener and greener, we have regular plantation program in the campus. Green building, our buildings are green. Definitely, we are approaching towards that. But also to keep the campus green, we keep on doing regular plantation programs. This is, as you can see, just a few days back. And this is a very, very regular scene in the university. And you can see our own Professor Umesh Gurnani, who was introducing the session. He's himself involved in the plantation program to a large extent. You can see Mr. Shekhar Dutt, Sri Shekhar Dutt, who was the former governor of Chhattisgarh. When he was there, also we did plantation program under his supervision and guidance. And you can also see Mr. Mahendra Kumawat, who is the former Director General of Border Security Force. We have solar panels installed in all buildings. As you can see, in each and every building, you will find the solar panels installed. And the water and also our electricity to a large extent is coming from solar. So we are encouraging the green building concept. And as we proceed, before we proceed further, let me tell you that we like to call ourselves fruitful UEM. Fruitful UEM in the sense that it is plantation all around, greenery all around. And we are also approaching towards a time when we can make it fruitful Jaipur and fruitful Rajasthan. We are gradually moving around Jaipur, moving around Rajasthan and planting trees all around and trying to make Rajasthan and Jaipur more fruitful, more green. So this is a small initiative. Let me show you the one last video to complete my presentation. This is a small initiative that we have taken. Any car, we want to convert all the cars into electric cars. Not only new electric cars are sufficient, the existing cars in the country cannot be got rid of in one day. So till we get rid of all diesel petrol cars and shift completely to electric cars, we have taken this initiative that if you want to convert your car to an electric car, you have a diesel car, you have a petrol car, you don't need to get rid of it. You just want to convert it to an electric car. You just bring the car to our campus. Our students, our researchers and teachers will convert the car to electric car. As you can see, this is a car. Experiment pictures, I will show you a video. This is the process of conversion. You see, this is a car. This car contained the engine, normal diesel or petrol car it was, contained the engine. We removed it and now it contains the motor and it runs. The battery is fitted on at the end. As you can see, the motor can be run. And you can see the battery connected at the end. And this car, after being completely converted into electric car, now moves around the campus, moves around in the laboratory first. And after that, see, this car is completely ready and moving around in the campus and also around the roads of Jaipur. So this is one initiative. So if anybody from your side wants to convert your car to electric car, then you are welcome. Our students, our teachers, our researchers will do it at the minimum affordable cost. So thank you. Thanks to all of you. This is what I had to say. I only want to say wholeheartedly that we wholeheartedly support the initiative, green initiative, and we want to convert all our buildings to green buildings in true sense, not only partially. In a true sense, we are motivated to convert all our buildings to green buildings. Thank you. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak. I will hand it over to the organizers.
Thank you, sir, for a quick glimpse of UEM Jaipur. So UEM Jaipur has been involved in green and eco-friendly activities, developing healthy, environmental friendly practices and developing lush green campus for students, guardians, and all the residents in campus, and also focusing towards zero waste. Professor Dr. Aniruddha Mukherjee is leading and promoting a green club at UEM Jaipur since past 2 years, and to enhance a better lifestyle for all stakeholders of the university. So I'll hand it over to you, Professor Aniruddha Mukherjee. Sir, you may please address the audience.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Gurnani. It's a wonderful initiative. I mean, it's a great day, I would say, that ASSOCHAM and UEM, University of Engineering and Management, Jaipur, has come forward for such a wonderful initiative. Well, to start off with, I would like to congratulate all the members of, present today, particularly our Vice Chancellor, sir, and Mr. Kapil Megrani, sir, Mr. Subhabrata Roth, sir, Mr. Harish Pushpakar, sir, and Professor Gurnani, and all the audience present during this seminar. Now, to begin with, it's very tough for me to address on this issue, because as you can understand, this happens to be a very sensitive, at the same time a very alarming aspect, the aspect of green building and green initiative. It reminds me of my days when I was with the industry, when I just passed out my graduation way back in the 90s. And when I joined the industry, I was involved in power plant projects. I remember those days as a lighting engineer, as an electrical lighting engineer, I was, this green initiative or energy efficiency concepts were a fancy term. They are literally very fancy term. And people were not bothered much about the concept of energy efficiency. Gradually, days passed by, and we took the initiative. Many of the lighting companies present in India and abroad, they took the initiative. They came forward together to address these issues of energy efficient lighting, and hence the designing aspects of lighting came into the picture. So there was a transformation when it occurred, and finally, at the end of the 90s, in the early 2000, when in the early part of this century, the concept of green building was initiated, and people gradually took interest in these aspects when people took and understood the environmental aspects of this green building. So what is the environmental outcome? Because at the end of the day, we must understand that energy is very precious, and it cannot be wasted in this manner. It cannot be wasted in this fashion. Hence, the aspect of green initiative or green buildings came into the picture to understand the environmental outcome, and to be more precise, the interaction of the green building with the environment was more important. Now, and later on, I remember there's an airport at Hyderabad, Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, which came up, which was entirely done with this concept of green building initiative. In UEM Jaipur, we do take a lot of programs, a lot of initiatives to encourage this concept of green building. We have operated a green club here that promotes these concepts of green building, and it involves everything. From water management to energy efficient lighting to heating, ventilation, air conditioning systems. It involves everything. This is a collective effort, and use of daylight, particularly use of daylight, use of improving the air quality inside the building premises. So it's a collective effort, and so that the entire aspect of the environment can be retained at the same time with the development, because so far these were very contradictory terms in development and environmental aspects. The green initiative was formed to merge these two into a single unit, so that the aspects of environmental can be taken care of. So with these words, I would like to I once again congratulate to all the members present here, and I'd love to hear from all the members here regarding this green initiative. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So that was a pleasure hearing from you about green and clean UEM Jaipur, and I wish we'll go ahead with much more of such initiatives in future. Now I'll move on further to call our speaker, Mr. Subhabrata Rath, and before he takes over, I'll take another minute to introduce him. Mr. Subhabrata Rath is associated with SHOM New Delhi as a Joint Director, GEM Green Building Certification Program. Mr. Rath did his Masters in Physics in University of Massachusetts, Boston, and he is a mechanical engineer and certified green building professional with more than a decade of experience in India and Middle East Asia in fields of sustainability, teaching, motivation, research, and site implementation, both in building design and construction sector. He is more than passionate about triple bottom line. The 5 elements of nature and holistic human well-being is what drove him to be a writer of the Totemic Chase and the psychological counselor as well. So that was a brief intro about our guest and the speaker, Mr. Shubhabrata Rath, and it's over to you, sir. You may please address the attendees.
Thank you, Ms. G. That's awesome. And this brief introduction is enough to start this presentations. And can I get the share rights, please? Good afternoon, everyone. So you all are doing well, I guess. So here we are talking about a subject which is a need of the hour, I can say. ASSOCHAM GEM Green Building Certifications Program and UN SDG 30, the Sustainability Development Goals. So here I am here to complete it almost in 15 to 20 minutes, let's say. So I will make it very quick and very fast. Thank all of you for that experience that you have bestowed upon, and the university curriculum is kind of, I like that electrical car concept, that hybrid model concept. I really like that. And this kind of initiatives actually innovate and what do you call it, inspire us to do something better and more and enhance these things. Thank you, UM. Thank you, Yusre, Kapilji. Welcome you. And ASSOCHAM, let me give you an ASSOCHAM background first. What we are going to do here and how we are going, what is the green building concept is about. Why it's not moving? Okay. So the Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industries of India, it is there in India since 1920. So 101 years, we have a responsibility on us to do something that is needed right now. We have more than 400 chambers and trade association with us, serving more than 4.5 lakh members from all over India. So we are kind of working towards creating a conducive environment in terms of business environment in terms of the actual environment, natural environment. So it is a balance of things. So we started to think about a green initiative called GEM, which was started a few years back. We called it GEM Sustainability Certifications Program with Green and Eco-Friendly Movement. Actually, GEM is an acronym, GEM, Green and Eco-Friendly Movement. We wanted to make it a movement. That is green initiative. Like it was said before, that when in the 90s, in the early 90s, nobody was talking about this field. And right now, there are a lot of rating systems, a lot of portfolios, a lot of platforms are there where we can make something green. At least we have a perspective through which we can see things. And GEM is one of those perspectives which has, and the main intent of this perspective is to make it a movement. We are not thinking about 1% or 2% of our mass. We are talking about everyone who is in this planet. They should understand about an eco-friendly and green design and constructions. Here I am talking about building design and constructions. Okay, because when you're talking about sustainability development goals as such, it's a bigger thing, very big thing, right? We're trying to continuously improve to align with the UN SDG goals as well. So GEM is the first comprehensive rating system in the world to recognize sustainability rather than incorporating few components of it. What I mean by few components is, I'm talking very fast, I guess, because we don't have much time. So I'm narrowing down to, you see, there are 17 sustainability development goals by United Nations 2030 program. Okay. So out of which, if you think about a building, first thing I'm talking about green building. So I'm trying to make that kind of context here. So when you talk about building, number 3, good health and well-being. Okay, inside the building, I want to be healthy. I want to live well, right? If you're talking about clean water and sanitation, yes, it's possible because we are drinking water inside our building, or when we're constructing it, we're using water, right? Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Yes, of course, infrastructure means building. Sustainable cities and communities. Without any building design, construction, urban cities is not possible right now. Then we have a responsible consumption and productions. We are consuming thing inside, right? Whatever maybe it may be in terms of material, maybe in terms of eating something or drinking something. We are consuming things, right? So we are consumers. So consumers are living inside the building. So it is applicable to building. Yes, life on land. Yes, and the buildings are existing on the land. Yes, possible. But what about the rest of the things? Is it possible? If you talk about poverty, if you talk about hunger, if you talk about even clean energy is possible for building, right? It's about energy. In the history sections, energy will be covered. I will not go there much. So rest of the things, are they a part of the building or not? Okay. So when you're talking about green building, we're talking about only of the buildings, but these things can also be catered. So GEM is the first comprehensive program where we are trying to cater all those things. How, that I'll show you in a minute. So let's go to the GEM certifications rating levels. It's a building program, it's a certifications program where we are rating a building based on certain parameters. What are the parameters? The sustainability development goals are the parameters, mostly the 5 elements of nature, the energy point of view, the water conservation points of view. You can talk about site, the earth element itself, the air that we breathe in, and there are a lot of other things in the space which can be thought about. Maybe it's metals, maybe it's resources, maybe it's earth. When you're constructing it, when you're designing it, the complete package I'm talking about. So here we are checking those parameters, and through which we are giving some points, right? So what are the points? GEM 1 to GEM 5. GEM 5 is the highest one. So this is some kind of process and timeline. Everything has a process and timeline. We don't need to elaborate on that. So here I would freeze for a while. GEM sustainability parameters, new buildings. We have reference guides for new buildings. We have reference guides for existing buildings. For healthcare, we have something customized for healthcare, customized for warehouses, customized for, we are making for green campuses. Like you said that we want to make everything green. Of course, sir, we are there to give it a completely customized university green campuses rating systems. So this is a very basic about the new buildings right now. I am showing you. So the maximum points you can see here. E is written here. E is for essential, it's necessary. For example, when you are making a building, it has to, fire and life safety has to be there, the plans has to be there. There are certain things like energy management best practices. You can see my cursor here, principle 23, energy management best practices. Everything here is about energy. Even propagating passive design strategies, it's about energy. So we are trying to conserve or protect certain elements of nature. That is the basic concept of green building in terms of actions. I am not going into the theories or definitions. I am directly going to the actions. Okay. So how we can do it? Before that, I'll give you an SHM. Is the indigenous. What is different in it? There are a lot of green building rating system maybe existing in not only in India, throughout the world. But what is different in GEM is GEM, we are trying to make it indigenous to Indian climate. What I am trying to say is we cannot import everything, all our knowledge from outside. There are certain things which are indigenous to Indian climate, and our reference guides, our parameters has to be sensitive enough to address those things, right? So that's why we are also constantly updating it and enhancing it to cater this kind of design and industry evolutions. And we are making it very simple in terms of simple process. The kind of registrations till you get the certifications and everything. That process is simplified. But not the program. We are not. It's not that simple. Does not mean that we'll just give it like that. No, the parameters will be checked properly. The intents has to be checked properly. Intent driven more than cost driven, and applicability across sectors in both lot of categories. That right, you can see residential, health facilities, logistics park, all kinds of buildings are there that we are covering throughout all the states and places and all the clients of weathers. Okay. So it's compliant with BE ECBC 2017 and NBC 2016. So whoever is not aware of this, ECBC, this is an energy conservation building code by Bureau of Energy Efficiency India. 2017 version is right now, that's the most updated version. And NBC is, as you know, National Building Code. So any building that we make, it has to adhere by certain norms. And our energy norms are guided by BE ECBC 2017. There are a lot of energy codes in the world. And Mr. Kapil will give you a more brief about that. So these are beautiful energy things that the whole intent is to give you an idea of how we can save energy. That is our intent, right? So whatever way you can do it, just do it. Okay. So we are talking about indoor air quality. We are talking about daylights. Right now I am sitting here. You can see lights are there, right? There is no bulbs here. It's complete daylight I'm sitting right now. So these kind of daylighting strategies, if you properly design your buildings, you can benefit a lot out of it, not only in terms of your energy utility bills and costs. There are other aspects as well. So let's go to the sustainability and green building directly. What it is all about. I'll give you a simple analogy, like triple bottom line. When you're thinking about a building, any developer, anything, when a building is constructed or designed, we are thinking of doing it for some purpose, right? University campus is for educations, and residential buildings is to stay somewhere. Office buildings, everything has a purpose, and the main purpose, there is another purpose behind it, which is by developers, which is to make some profit out of it. But this profit parameter, it's just one line. Out of the triple bottom line, this economic factor is just one line. Right now, the way the world is progressing, right now the world has advanced the way. Just taking this one leg is not enough. We have to be like a tripod, like a triple bottom line. Then only these things will sustain. So we have a social responsibility towards our environment, towards where we're building our building, designing our building or constructing our building. And we have another thing towards our environment. Okay. One is for social, one is for environmental, one is for economical. We call it triple bottom lines, or 3 E's or 3 P's, whatever you call it. This is the basic of green building is constrained within these 3 bottom line, triple bottom line, we call it. Okay. So this is, you can see, for example, this is just an example, illustrative, you can say. This is a building. Okay. This is a building. You can see when you just look at the picture, what comes into your mind, there are greeneries all around. It's not that the building is not dominating, the nature is not dominating. There is no problem. Is that there is enough ample parking spaces. The water streams are not completely washed out. Nobody is filling this water cycles. Nobody is taking out the trees. The contours, the slopes are also maintained according to this thing. We are not just re-altering the contour just to make our convenience. No, right? The design has to be, if you think about responsible, environmental friendly, social friendly design, the same person can design the same building with the same requirements with not much extra cost. That's the main thing. Then we can promote the conservation of energy, water, or air quality, or whatever you put in it, the 5 elements of nature, and becomes a green building. Then how we know that it is a green building? Then you will need the parameters. When you need the parameters, you go to GEM Green Building Certification Program, and it will tell you, okay, where your building stands. So that is how the complete ball game is about. Okay. So this is the, for example, fire and life safety is a mandatory provision in GEM Certifications Program. You can see, if the fire and life safety program is not, the approvals are not done properly, there might be a lot of incidents. So we think sustainability is not only about this, about nature, it's also about fire and life protections, right? If life is saved, then only you can do something more, right? So sustainable development goals, that's how I talk about the UN SDGs. All the 17 things has to be incorporated in one way or other. Maybe not through parameters, but through some different ways, some wise decisions plans. Okay. So this is how you can save when you are making some constructions where there are erosions, right? We're just taking out the topsoil. The topsoil is sometimes very fertile. A lot of places I have seen that the topsoil is very fertile. There are a lot of good flora and fauna. We just scrap out the top, take it out and do something there. And then we get some more money, just put on it. So it is neither profitable nor environmental nor not recommendable. So there are in the NBC also, there are plans, the National Building Code of India, there are plans to protect this topsoil when you are constructing something there. These are the ideas. There are certain ideas are there. So we said that, okay, do it, we'll give you some kind of, this is a parameter. Okay. So this is just action plans. I'm throwing you some kind of pictures. This is here I'm trying to show the fact about green building is that green building is not new to India. We are talking like it was said like 90s, we made it in contemporary form. It was required because the ancient techniques, they already were green enough. Somehow it was eroded down the line in the terms of modern building design and architecture, but that is not the case always. You can see the Hawa Mahal in Jaipur here, I am showing here. This is completely based on the air element, right? You don't need any kind of air conditioning. It is so beautiful design that you do not need any kind of air conditioning system inside the Hawa Mahal. It's based on Hawa. Jal Mahal is there. It's completely based on the water element. There is a Konark, it's based on the fire element. The sun element is there, right? This is here, the rainwater harvesting system was there. That time it was a fort in I think MP or somewhere. So I don't remember the place exactly, but it's the rainwater harvesting system. It's from the rainwater. So is it not beautiful? So we were already in it. It's not that we are importing anything. That's why I said it is an indigenous program. So right now we have technologies available. We have solar path available. We have we know everything right now. Those times, in earlier times, people are using their brains, right? Now also we are using our brain, but on top of that, we have a technology, a computer. If you don't know the place, if you don't know how the solar path is in that place, then we have latitude and longitude based. All the details are there. How in the summer, in the winter, in the rainy season, how in the east west directions, how the sun is going to be, how the light is going to be, where the light is more, where the heat is more, where the wind is more. Windrose diagram is there. So all these technical things are available right now. We have energy model models are available. We have daylighting models are available. We can really make a very informed decisions right now to make a green building. Green building is not a very far-reached subject right now. Even inside sitting in our own home, we are making. One of my students, he just approached me from GM certification program. I was very impressed. He's just making his own home of like, let's say 2000 square feet. But he's trying to make, sir, क्या कर सकते हैं इसके लिए, हम आप बताइए क्या क्या कर सकते हैं हम एक छोटे से घर के लिए. Of this kind of things are really the green building things. We like those things to be implemented throughout. Okay, this is inspiring. This is kind of the landscaping where you do not need much water, since still you can make beautiful landscape. I don't want a pine tree or tree from Kashmir to stay in Bhubaneswar and plant it here and put another air conditioning just to preserve it. I don't want that. I still can manage with my own landscape and native trees and make it beautiful. We can do this kind of pavements. I was saying, checking in that rendering in that video of Dr. Bisojo was saying, showing us side set. There are grid pavements like that. Okay, so when any solar radiation comes, it will directly be absorbed. Okay, if you make it completely concrete, it will not be absorbed, and that will be making a lot of heat there. It will feel very much uncomfortable in that place. Then for that, again, inside the building, you will make more AC load. So there are a lot of informed decisions we can make. Your grid drivers are there. You can make solar systems are there on the top of the universities. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed, sir. I must congratulate you for that. And a lot of informed decisions. This is rainwater harvesting. This is drip irrigation. Simple strategies, action plans. When we're talking about action plans or green building, we're not talking about big things. We're talking about small action items. Even a child, if he has the idea, like हमको जब बचपन में हमको बोला जाता था कि ठीक है आप जब निकल के आप स्विच ऑफ द लाइट, स्विच ऑफ द फैन, ये छोटे छोटे चीजें होते हैं ना, ये छोटे छोटे चीजें लाइफ में बहुत सारी चीज कर जाते हैं. So these are the things all about. We're talking about GM advantages. So right now, if I completely go to the GM advantage program, so it's a indigenous program based on ECBC, like I told you, and NBC. It is affordable because we are intent driven more than cost driven. So we charge less because we want it to be a movement. Payback period. What is payback period? Is if anybody thinks that it's a myth. A few years back, maybe the payback period payment was more. Maybe we are not getting certain materials nearby. But right now, the industry is ready for it. So if somebody is thinking that I'm taking kind of 6 to 10 square feet more, I'm putting for a green building, then the payback period is also there. No, so because they will be saving energy, they will be saving water, they will be saving the utility bills, and it will be like 2 to 3 years they'll cover it. So we have regular interactions between GM and project teams, even post certifications. And there are 20 states, 5 adjoining countries. The chapters are there. You can see in the green colors, and some more are going. We're trying to make it in that COVID time. It was we hold it a bit. Right now, again, we're starting it. So we are listed by the CRISIL and GM certifications program, and we are empaneled in Rajasthan. This is a beautiful thing. Like in Rajasthan, you can see that there are fair incentives government is providing for making something green building out without any extra cost, without any extra fee. So you can see a lot of green building programs like IGBC or GREE, and ASSOCHAM GM is a part of it, and we have enlisted, and will be enlisted in many states. Very soon you will see that, and GEM certified green project illustrating this is done by ASSOCHAM GEM, our council. So you can see Siemens, you can see ITC, you can see Shrines, you can see Times Square. There are different varieties, diversities. Means we are here to make it a movement for all kinds of building. It's not only for new or existing or anything in a state specific. We are in Mumbai, we are in Manesar, we are in Andhra Pradesh. So we're trying to when in Kashmir as well. I'll show you. There is a Broadway complex Srinagar pre-certified GM4. You can see it was in Kashmir. So it's about, when you talk about indigenousness, it has to be indigenous to any states or any climate as well. So that's why it will make a movement that will make it green and eco-friendly, which is implementable. It's not that just certificate mil gaya ho gaya. Nahi, aisa nahi hai. It has to be also maintained. It also has to be operated. That mindset has to be there from very early till the next. And now IRSTC has made a beautiful initiative where they are making certain kinds of prototypes right now. They are making like 4 or 5 they have already started. So one is in Habibganj. So Habibganj में क्या किया है कि एक ही रेलवे स्टेशन, उसके साथ में कमर्शियल एंड एवरीथिंग लाइक यू सी इन एयरपोर्ट्स, everything is integrated together. They make it a form-based approach. They made a kind of design for that. Okay, that prototype is being applied across the country in different platforms. So इसमें हबीबगंज आया था, तो हबीबगंज it got GEM 5 certified. So even the Leela Hotel at Gandhinagar, it's also an IRSTC project for the form-based approach that I was talking about. And Leela Hotel is a part of. You can see on the top of that that station, there is a hotel like and that is Leela Hotel, and that was GEM 5 certified, beautifully designed as well. And there's the social networking projects and Habibganj railway stations, like I told you. And there is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is there, Vadodara is there, and Lucknow is there, Kanpur is there. So there are different plans. So one side there are, I am talking about Kartarpur Land Port Terminal. On the other side we are talking about government projects where it has to be literally it has to be everywhere. That's what we want. Okay. This not only like airports and railway station, it has to be also for any kind of people, it has to be. Okay, that is called green building movement. And there is integrated air terminals, metro stations complex. So in this kind of things, in this COVID period as well, we made a lot of webinars, we made MOUs with universities. So 14 MOUs with professional organizations. There are chapters and attendees and registrations are there. Why universities is there? Because I am right now in the webinar with universities. So it must be emphasized enough that universities are the building blocks, not only in terms of making the things green, but in also preparing the students as a green mindset. Whenever they're going anywhere, the employment right now, if you think about the students' employment, if you go anywhere out of this university, pass karke nikal jaoge, pass out karke, then right now all the corporates, they have their CSR program, they are the green initiative branches, they have budget allocations going on for this kind of initiatives, because this is the thing right now. And a lot of companies, lot of consultants, not only in India, even abroad, because I work in certain consultants abroad in Middle East, in Bahrain and Dubai as well. So they are really looking for certain kinds of green initiatives even anywhere in the world. So that is very much essential, and the MOUs with leading agencies for that is in ISRA. You can see ISRA is there. So Terry Policy City is the NAREDCO is there, because of building ki baat when you're talking about buildings, then there has to be NAREDCO, there has to be CREDAI, this kind of things. So we must go together. It's a collaborative approach. ये हमसे अकेले से नहीं होने वाला, सबका साथ चाहिए. So GEM certified professional, it's a program, it's a beautiful. In every Saturday, every last Saturday of every month, we are giving a free webinar जहाँ पे हम explain करते हैं all the parameters that I showed you in the beginning, that based on which the building is rated. So all those parameters, we are kind of trying, through those parameters, we are trying to build up that what sustainability is, how these things can be action oriented, how this can be implemented any building. So we are trying to make that kind of awareness for students, professionals, anyone who is interested. And then after that, they have to give an exam. And that after that, they will get GEM certified professional, GEM CPX certificate milega. Certificate milne ke baad, they are a part of us. Part of us means whenever we want, whenever we get some project, or whenever they want some project, they have some project and they want to be certified, they can actually literally work in it, right? That is the kind of model we are slowly creating, not only about certifications, but also in terms of teaching, and also motivation, in terms of any other things that we'll be taking off, like audits are there, energy audits are there, waste audits are there. So these CPs can be a part of it. We can train them more and more, and they can be a part of it. So that kind of system we are slowly building up. So that's a nice initiative. So benefits, I don't have to elaborate it much more. So there are a lot of benefits for green building in terms of energy demand. 10 to 20% usage is reducing. Wastewater demand 20 to 30% is reducing. Not only it is reducing, I am not talking about only reductions in terms of reductions. I am also saying that when you are reducing or conserving any important aspect of nature, you are somehow making a contributions towards your triple bottom line, towards life, towards humanity as well, towards the environment as well. तो ये जो green building आप करेंगे, it's not only for you, it's for everyone, right? क्योंकि एक building आप बनाते हैं, गलत strategy बनाते हैं, तो lot of people get been harm for it. कैसे होता है? देखिए, आपका पेंट आपने बना दिया, एक builder है, and he just comes inside and उसके रूम में के अंदर एक पेंट करके चला गया, ठीक है? वो पेंट के अंदर बहुत सारे केमिकल्स होते हैं, बीओसी होते हैं, स्मेल आते हैं, स्मेल का छोड़िए बहुत सारे केमिकल्स होते हैं। इफ इट इज नॉट चूजन प्रॉपरली, उसके जगह में अगर और 2 रुपया 4-5 रुपया लगा देता तो यू कुड हैव गॉट ए बेटर पेंट, राइट? तो इतने छोटे से चीज के लिए आपका बच्चा उसके अंदर आएगा, बीमार पड़ गया लेट से उसके वजह से, होता है ना, ऐसे पहले होता है ना, लेट बेस्ड पेंट्स होते हैं, दैट इज वेरी मच हार्मफुल। सो ये छोटा सा चीज है, ऐसे हर एक चीज एक बिल्डिंग में, आप इफ यू थिंक अबाउट इट, कितने सारे चीजें यूज होते हैं इसमें, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम योर ब्रिक्स, कंक्रीट, योर स्टील्स एंड व्हाट नॉट, एवरीथिंग इज बीइंग यूज्ड, राइट? So ये सिर्फ material one aspect I'm talking about. Similarly, we have the complete site, we have the complete solar radiations, the heat gains, the AC is running, the पानी का बचत नहीं हो रहा है, टैप से खराब टैप हो रहा है, ज्यादा से अननेसेसरी यूज हो रहा है, या फिर सेंसर्स आर नॉट देयर, द अननेसेसरी एनर्जी यूज हो रहा है। सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच आर unnecessary. आप यूज कीजिए, कुछ मुश्किल नहीं है। if you need some kind of energy, use it, nobody is restricting, but wasting is the problem, right? Waste management is not only about the waste that we are eating or throwing outside, food waste or e-waste. No, waste is when energy waste is there, water waste is there, everything is wasted. That वो wastage को हम रोक रहे हैं, we are trying to conserve it, we are trying to preserve it, we are trying to make something better out of it. So without उसके साथ आपको प्रॉफिट भी मिल रहा है, क्योंकि आपको पे बैक एनालिसिस में लेट से 2 to 3 years you get something, and in the energy utility bills you are getting it back for doing something good. So इससे अच्छा कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता, right? So that's how we are moving towards in the green building industry. So if you have any queries, my colleague Amit ji is here. So you can call him, you can shoot him a mail. My number is here and my email ID is here. So okay, so for now that's it. Thank you very much. Back to Umesh ji.
So, well, that was very well presented, Mr. Shubhabata, and it was good to see like how simple strategies and action plans can help us to implement green building technology, and the new policies by government can help us to analyze the payback period in a better way. Thank you, sir, for sharing your ideas. We'll have Mr. Kapil coming up in the panel, and after that we'll have the panel discussion. We'll take up the questions. So before we introduce, before Mr. Kapil will start, I'll just take a minute to introduce him. Mr. Kapil Meghrani is a green building consultant and analyst with a demonstrated history of working in construction industry for more than 8 years. And he has worked with many associations from building industry. He is currently the director of Prakriti Group, working as a sustainability consultant. And he's also working with government in developing sustainability material market. Mr. Kapil is the president-elect of ISHRE Jaipur chapter and member of Youth for Sustainability India Alliance. So from here, I'll hand it over to you, Mr. Kapil. You may please take the discussion further. Yeah, Kapil sir.
Professor Gurnani, can you kindly follow up with him once, please?
Yes.
Possible?
Kapil sir, I believe you have muted yourself. Still on mute. No, sir, you're not audible. You're not audible.
I think he's signing out and signing in again, so we can wait.
Okay, it'll just take a minute for him. So meanwhile, Mr. Shubhabrata, actually I received one of the questions. Uh, uh, so it was posted actually by one of my students.
Okay.
So before Mr. Kapil joins, I'll just put that question to you and you can
Sure,
respond.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
in terms of wastage, in terms of sorry, weightage, do you see SHOM GEM can add towards UN SDGs as a whole?
Yeah. Sure, sure. UNSTG. Okay, let me.
So you can switch on your camera.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, UNSTG, you can see there are 17 goals are there, right? So apart from the inside that, almost 6 or 7 are directly being catered by our green building rating systems, GEM, or any green building rating systems. Apart from that, अभी जैसे मैं zero hunger की बात कर रहा था, ठीक initially. So there are a lot of things which are indirectly we can use. How indirectly we are doing it is, we have a parameter here in our GEM building where we are giving 2 points for corporate social responsibilities. Any developer, any company who is making that building, let's say, if they're spending some amount of the CSR programs on certain initiatives, not only UN SDGs, any kind of like PM CARES fund हो गया, कहीं पे भी हो गया. So it contributes, it gives a weightage, and as time goes, we might increase it if it is needed. So we are trying to cater all the things in our requirement. In our reference guide itself, we have written if the UN SDG numbers are there. If we are doing all this, they related something to UN SDG 1 or 2 or 3, then we will consider that. So हम धीरे धीरे उस तरफ जा रहे हैं, but yes, UN SDG means we are not talking only about sustainability, means as a whole we are talking about, not only a few components of it. That's the whole idea behind it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kapil has joined.
Yeah, sure.
So I hope the student who has asked he has got the answer. So Mr. Kapil, you can continue with the discussion. Yeah, Kapil sir, your voice is not audible actually.
Can we do one thing like Professor Gurnani, if it suits, like if he can also join via mobile, and in the mobile also he's made a panelist and the voice is taken from there, if it is possible, because I believe some problem is occurring in his system. So maybe if he joins by mobile, the voice can be taken from there if possible.
Okay, I'll just talk to him once.
Sometimes the earphone causes problem. If you can take the earphone out, maybe.
Yes, you can directly connect with the computer audio. So Mr. Kapil will be joining within next few minutes. He's got some problem to present the slide, so that's why it will take some time for him. So meanwhile, Shubhabrata sir, there is one more question. Actually, it's there in the question box itself, in the panel itself. What is the difference between IGBC rating and GEM rating? So I believe you are the best person to answer this.
See, yeah, I worked in IGBC projects as well, and with IGBC because I worked before in consultant. So IGBC and JM, I will not straightforwardly say that the differences. I'll say the good points about it because when you're talking about green building programs, we're talking about the inclusivity, and there is only 5% of buildings which are green certified as such. So there is a lot of scope, and we all have to go together. So in terms of green building programs, okay, I can say what is the good points about JM program. JM is that we are indigenous to India. A lot of things here that we are adapting. For examples, in the wood sector, we are talking about don't use hardwood. I mean, don't cut trees. As simple as that's the action items. If you talk about some kind of, if I say that आप FSC certified wood मत use कीजिए, there is or use कीजिए और ये मत कीजिए, तो FSC certified wood there are certain things which are not applicable for India और India में वो चीज अभी तक आया नहीं. First of all, so sometimes certain Indian aspects perspectives we need direct straight cut actions. आप पेड़ मत काटिए खत्म. Or here we are not trying to make something that we use certain aspects which are not available in market. Number one. Number two is the fire and life safety in buildings. It is in only JM. It's there. It's not in any green building rating system. But we are talking about sustainability as a whole. Even fire and life safety को भी हम जीवन एक sustainability का part मान रहे हैं. Number two. Number three, there are certain norms for carpets, for some interior programs, for some in, indoor like carpets हो गया. तो वहां पे हम जो भी चीज चाहते हैं हम लोग इंडियन रिलेटेड पैरामीटर्स हम यूज कर रहे हैं. जैसे हमने देखा कि बीई सीबीसी एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन के लिए वो स्टेटा वी आर यूजिंग एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन बिल्डिंग कोड 2017 which is by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. So in that way what happens is we are trying to promote Indian regulations, policies, and the green building policies. And in other way, we are also promoting the things which is possible inside India. If you say something that जो हम यहाँ पे हो ही नहीं सकता और हमको बोले कि आपको ये चीज चाहिए कि ये सर्टिफिकेशन चाहिए, I don't know how they will get it. If they get it, how much true it is. और अगर ठीक है अगर मिल गया तो अननेसेसरी उसके लिए कुछ कॉस्टिंग भी एक्स्ट्रा आ सकता है जो कि जरूरत नहीं है. तो वी आर मेकिंग ट्राइंग टू मेक इट वेरी सिंपल समटाइम्स. सो इन दैट वे आई विल से इट. बट यस, program differences, I do not want any differences. I actually want everybody to go together because the sky is the limit. बहुत कुछ करना बाकी है हम सबको मिल, ये चीज है.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Thank
I think
you,
that
sir.
answers the questions. Yes.
Yes, that gives the perfect answer. I hope Mr. Kapil now is visible. Kapil sir, you can try your audio once. I hope should be working.
Yeah, you're
You are audible. Just a little low on the voice part, but you're audible.
Still, sir, the voice is very low. I request this SHM JM host to please give him the access to share the screen.
I think I'm audible now.
Yes, you're audible. You're audible. At least it can run. The show can run.
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Rath has already very patient and doing an excellent job. The amount of certification is required for they have done. They have made a very excellent things as well. We are also working on some projects that certification starting with certification. So, guys, I am the president-elect of ISRAE. ISRAE supports ISRAE is Indian Society of Air Conditioning Engineers. I'm the president-elect of Jaipur. Mr. President, Mr. Anand is also joined. So, I'm also a green building consultant working in this industry for the last 8 years and working on energy efficient buildings and providing the sustainable materials requirement. Yes, there is some certification agencies working, but we also look for the resources required in making a green building, a sustainable building. So, our company, Prakriti Group, is Prakriti Sustainable Services Private Limited, is working on providing the sustainable materials, build materials that is required in making a green building. So let us consider about the situation, why sustainable developments are required by United Nations. So as we are seeing, experiencing a severe drought and flood situation in India. Why it has happened? Because we have mined the river sand, making a lot of construction projects. So this is the result we are facing. A severe flood in see in various states, in Rajasthan, in MP, in Bihar, in Uttar Pradesh, in Uttarakhand, in Himachal Pradesh, in Gujarat. Severe flood this time. The last 5 years we are experiencing it. Why it has happened? Because we have taken out all the resources from the environment. So the environment is replying in the same format. So another situation I want to take your attention towards it. In 2011, half of the country went into the blackout for more than 26 hours. Why it has happened? The reason is the power crisis in North India occurred at this juncture due to over withdrawal of power by some state. Over withdrawal. So when there is an excess load, we go into of the power. So what happens? We have experiencing from 2011 to 2021. The increase in energy consumption has grown more than 43%, and the contribution is mostly 180% by air conditioners. So air conditioners usage, energy consumption is using day by day. It's considering the situation from 2011. So this situation can occur any time, and we need, this is the right time that we are building smart and sustainable and energy efficient. That is why the concept of the green building comes up. So most of the points has already been described by Mr. Rath in this session. I will just taking a quick round of today. One is we'll be just taking a brief of the sustainable building that already Mr. Rath has taken. Just gave a round to different rating systems and just brief you about the energy conservation bill that is launched by Government of India, that is efficiency, and some design consideration for making a green building, right? So as you already know, green building is a resource efficient that contributes taking from design to operations cycle. So this is so let us see what is the building cost in the industry in the country. 2010, 33% of thing was constructed in India, and yet to be built more than 66% is yet to. There is a high expectation in the market, so this is the largest growing industry in the country. Yes, COVID has impacted this, but yes, still in a good phase and it is going on. Yes, the fund shortage is an issue right now, but yes, that will be covered up in the upcoming. So let us understand. You already know why Go Green has been. Just take you what are the different rating agencies working in the India. As already Mr. Rath has told about the GEM rating system. There are other 3 rating systems working in India. One is IGBC certification system by Indian Green Building Council. Another is GREHA, that is Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment. It is jointly made by TERI and MNRE. So 3 of the government buildings are taking the certification for the LEED certification. It's an oldest certification by USGBC, that is United Nations, United States Green Building Council. They certify the buildings about the green building for the ratings and others. Second, many of the other countries also follow their own rating systems. That is BREEAM in UK, Green Star in Australia. We also use ST-DAMA Pearl. Japan use CASB, United States LEED, and many of the countries are also using their own green building system. Like Peru has their own rating system. European countries has their own rating system. The rating system is designed for as per their climatic conditions. The same, the energy conservation building code is also designed in the same parameters. So let us understand what exactly Energy Conservation Building Code is. It's a law by Government of India that was introduced in 2007. What exactly ECBC says? ECBC is does not say exactly about the green building, but it is a part of a green building. It sets minimum energy efficiency standards for design and construction of a commercial building. It also encourages energy efficient design or retrofit of buildings. It also ensures that a building does not constrain the building function, comfort, health, or the productivity of the occupant. Has appropriate regard for economic consideration. It also addresses local design conditions. As I have already said, it also says about the climatic condition of the area. Can't make a building in Chennai with the law of Jaipur. Can't make a building in Jammu Kashmir using the law of West Bengal. Climatic condition. So this is introduction. This is ECBC says. So let us see what exactly ECBC designed as per the climatic zones of the country. So India is divided into the 5 climatic zones: hot and dry, warm, humid, composite, temperate. So can't design a building with the law from Chennai in Jaipur because Chennai is a hot and dry environment, humid, and Jaipur has composite. Jodhpur has another climatic condition, so you need to design as per the climatic conditions. So this is all ECBC states. So ECBC is applicable for the commercial buildings currently, which is having a connected load of more than 100 kilowatt. Once it was started in 2007, it is stated that connected load will be 500 kilowatt. Then it was amended in 2009, and it was again amended in 2017. So we are now following the ECBC 2017 rules. It says that buildings have a connected load of more than 100 kilowatt. It needs to be made by ECBC. More than 18 states have already made it mandatory. Rajasthan has also made their law. They are soon rolling out. It is voluntary till now, and it is now being mandatory in the upcoming months. It has already been approved by Minister of by Government of Rajasthan. It soon need to be rolling out, right? So what kind of buildings are covered in ECBC? Till now, no residential buildings are covered under ECBC, but soon they are coming up the same. Currently, office buildings, IT parks, in the industrial areas, hills, hospitals, retail malls and shops, government building, educational institutes, whatever new is now, it needs to be designed as per the laws of energy conservation. It will be a drastic change in the Indian construction. Most of the building need to be designed. It's a law. Otherwise, you will not get a occupancy certificate. So, what is the impact of ECBC compliant buildings, right? So, it also improves the development for energy efficient products, for building insulation, for energy efficiency windows, high efficiency HVAC equipments. It gives a boost to these products market. Through design practices, lighting and daylighting, we design a building in such a way that the daytime there is no lighting. One is might be some are sitting in the office, someone sitting in college, someone is sitting at their. Right now, mostly people are using, and I am also using. So we need to design a building in such a way that no lighting is required in a daytime. We have a lot of inspiration. We have a lot of examples. In the new buildings, we have to design in such a way. So it also impact is improving performance, lesser addition of power generation capacity for HVC loads, reduce energy consumption and cost, saves energy and hence reduction in utility bills. So this is all about ECBC. ECBC is a very technical subject. It covers mostly these building systems. So I'm just concluding for the ECBC is what are the application building systems covered up in the ECBC. ECBC के अंदर क्या क्या चीजें आती हैं, क्या क्या चीजें कवर होती हैं, हम केवल उसको समझते हैं. One is building envelope, building का ढांचा कैसा है. बिल्डिंग की चीजें कैसी हैं, कैसे बनेगा, किस तरीके से डिजाइन को करना है, उसमें हीट लॉस कम हो, हीट की एंट्रेंस बिल्डिंग के अंदर कम हो जाए. दैट इज व्हाई बिल्डिंग एनवेलप इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ECBC मैकेनिकल सिस्टम HVAC, we are related to ISHRAE. we also make sure कि जो भी products हम use करें वो ECBC के हिसाब से. So HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning comes under this. Service, hot water and pumping, it also comes under the same. Interior and exterior light. As I discussed about that, it is required for the daylighting purpose. Interior and exterior lighting design and the products usage is very important in the energy conservation building. Electrical power and motors. The electrical consuming devices such as motors, electrical power systems, and other equipments should be used of a very good quality that does not consume a lot of electricity. So we need to take care of that. So this was all about CBC. Soon, Government of India is coming up with some new rating system for the residential also. So they have already made it Punivas Samhita for residential buildings. So I'm just taking a quick tour to the various design consideration. It will just not take this. So for making a building from design, maintenance, it's called as a green building, and making a green building, placement of windows is very important. Okay, so most of the green buildings uses double glazed glasses, as you are already seeing it. It entraps the heat. It does not allow heat to travel inside the building. So placement of windows, designing stage to using it, it's a very important factor. Using insulation in a building is a very important factor as well. As ECBC also says for the building envelope, you need to use insulation while making a building. America has uses more than 70% of their American buildings are using the insulation. They have already insulation, and in India, so we see a lot of gap is there, and still they are surviving in minus 30-degree temperature. In USA, in Canada, in Russia, how they are surviving minus 30, minus 20. Even in India, we can't survive 5 degrees. In Jaipur, Rajasthan, we can't survive in 5 degree. So we need to, that is why insulation is important. If the climate change is coming up, then we need to design the building in such a way, otherwise we will not survive. So proof for the buildings. So for keeping a cool, that is also required. So you can use insulation. You can also use this coating. Okay. Use of high reflective material on roof surfaces might be as everyone is living at their home. This lockdown, many has used the white paint at their roofs. So that's a very good example. You can also use heat reflective tiles at your roof. So we used to use for the waste management. Now we are seeing a lot of awareness regarding the waste management, and waste management practices are very important. For commercial building, waste management strategies are very much required, that you make a proper system for the waste management, that proper logistic traveling and disposing the waste is a very important. Water saving methods, we need to use a lot of water saving products we can use for water aerators. Waterless urinals are coming up. They are also saving a lot of energy, a lot of water. Water aerators are there. Water faucets, they can save the waters. So we can use some products that can save 50 to 80% water at our home, at a commercial building, at our institutions. And also we can follow some more practices for saving the water. Installation of renewable sources in the building, yes, it is required. You can use. A lot of products are now available in the solar. So it is also saving energy at a bit. We are using sun's energy and can use it in a building stand. Locally sourced materials. So many times in this, only recommendation is use the locally sourced material. If you are making a home in Vadodara and you are transporting the marble from Kishangarh, it's of you are just taking out the products from there. Why can't purchase the marble from Dubai. Try to use the locally sourced materials because we are adding to the transportation, the carbon emissions during the transportation happens because of your construction. Landscape is a very important part for the commercial building. It is by the government guidelines that you need to make at least for this percentage. You also need to make a irrigation system for landscape designing that properly water will be flow out to the landscape. So this is all about the various design consideration. There are many other things. Rainwater harvesting. Flood situation is going on in the country. Every day you are reading it. So have we started rainwater harvesting in our buildings? So it is very important. Lot of water is going at the roads. If we save it in our building, in our locality, in our surroundings, then there is requirement for the same. Again, my slides got. This is save. So indoor air quality is also important. We need to design the building in such a way that we have a healthy indoor environment. Try to use non-VOC paints rather than the VOC paints. Currently we use VOC paint, that is volatile organic compound. So try to use non-VOC or low VOC paint. Follow the other for the environment. Some technologies that we use plastic, and you can see in a building wind energy transplanted solar tree. I've seen Mumbai also, Baroda, Bank of Baroda had a lot of new examples are coming up. Net positive buildings, various of the country, various of the parts of the world. In India also, we have made a very good net zero buildings. So this is all about the green buildings and the ECBC that I've discussed. So the summary of the session is climatically India is divided into 5 different. We can't copy the guidelines from foreign countries in our country. We have to decide it on our own. So each zone has its own guidelines for designing buildings in that particular region. So for the design consideration, please follow the climate. Or also use the products that are required. This is all about session. Just the new products and technology that our company is also providing the website for the various new products. No view, small faucets. Rather than saying and machines and plaster. This is all about for my presentation for today. We are up for the question. So much, sir. I was audible during the time.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, you're audible, Professor Burman,
Yes, sir.
you're audible.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Kapil, for the information about green building ratings by different organizations, GEM, IGBC, GRIHA, and different compliances to be considered while designing of green buildings, like including building envelope, lighting system, electric system, the insulation system, water supply, biodegradable system. So that was wonderful. That was a wonderful presentation. And so from the panel itself, I'll pick the questions and I'll hand it over to you. So there's a question for Kapil sir, that is GEM rating similar to GRIHA, or there are any differences, like as GRIHA is also in the Indian context? Okay, Shubham Prakash sir, you can answer that. So you're not audible. I think so. It's on mute.
Maybe my earphone is not on. Right now it's fine.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, I'll take it from here. No issues, Mr. Kapil. So actually, JM or Griha or IGBC or LEED or any rating system that Kapil is talking about is that they all are talking about green buildings. They are all talking about sustainability, but the parameters, the way they are arranging, we are arranging it as different, right? Where the process oriented wise, the JM is a very simplified process. I'm not talking about the program. The process is simplified. And the action items are very much strict to the point that we can do in Indian subcontinent. I am not going to criticize anything because everyone is doing fine in their own way. Because I have worked with all this kind of buildings here, or everything has its own strength, and I must admire it because we have a situations where only 5% of the Indian buildings are green certified, and you can say that 6,000 or 7,000 buildings are registered, out of which almost 4,000 or 5,000 are already certified. Maybe it's JM or IGBC or Griha. So we will not getting entangled in this kind of situations where we are in toss of war. It's not like that. There is any difference. We all are into the same directions. That is which is called energy savings, water savings, and all these things. In terms of JM, we can say that our program is more. You can say indigenous to Indian climate. Number one. Number two, I'll be saying it is more simplified. It is cost effective because we are trying to make it a movement. That's why we are trying to make it such so that even the layman can understand it without going into very much technicalities. It is so it can be less troublesome for people to understand and less for the calculations parts have been replaced by mostly action items. So what you do, you will not get caught in the entanglement of manipulations or any kind of way where you can tweak things. It is more towards action items. So that's why the ECBC is going handy here. There are some other calculators that is already there. Simple calculation age is there. A lot of calculations programs are already established. We don't have to do that again and again. So those exercises are already verified. So we are just adapting those things. We are trying to make collaborative effort with everyone and do something beautiful wonders out of it for our continent. That's the way up forward. Thank you.
Okay, Shubhabrata sir, this again another question that is related to GEM. How credit for use of green material are considered in GEM?
Green metals are considered in GEM the same way of the parameters will be in the same ways. It will be always it will have regional things, local sourcing in the sense that if metal is nearby, very nearby. Okay, let's say 100 kilometers. If it is like Mr. Kapil was saying, if it is available nearby, dur kyun jane ka? That is kind of a metal. It's regional or local metals we are trying to, but keeping in a mind that we cannot get everything within a 5-kilometer radius. So we cannot get everything. Sometimes certain programs, certain materials, we need to go to 800 kilometers as well. We might have to. Certain things like sand. For sand, we don't have to go to 800 kilometers. That you can get within 100 kilometers. So that kind of perspective we are setting in our thing. We are make kind of slabs even in the local sourcing. It's not that local means okay everything 800. No, not like that. What it depends on the material. That is one. The second is related to the content, the recycled content and everything. We made certain action items. We are not going for weight calculations, volume calculations, everything. We are saying that okay, if you use this kind of materials, at a point. So what it makes is people life easier when simply where the developers are worried about the calculation. If you go to the construction side, no. The calculations kind of irritate people because I have worked in construction sector. I know it irritates sometimes. So you just give the kya karna hai bataiye aap kar lenge sir. Haan, theek hai, okay. You do this. So that kind of way, the same thing, but our language is a little bit different and limited. Simple. That's the way. There are regional metals. There are harmful effect kam karne ke liye jo bhi hai, local materials, recycled content, and sustainable development materials. This kind of thing, renewable sources. Timbers, these kind of things we are encouraging. So certain things we are encouraging, certain things we are not encouraging, discouraging even in that way. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kapil, this question that is like incomplete. Rainwater harvesting system. Maybe like the question was not completely posted. So you have already covered that thing in your slide. That was second last slide, I hope. But once again, like you can just throw some focus throw some light on this rainwater harvesting system so that Mr. MD Shamshad Alam he gets a clarity about that.
So there are two harvesting system. One is a stormwater management system. Next, rainwater harvesting system. Rainwater harvesting system mostly in our residential building. We plan some piping system like the inside pit, groundwater or some tanks that we. This is the rain harvesting systems we can install in our buildings. Another is just stormwater management. If we are experiencing a flood situation in our city, all the water is gathered in roads. We need to make a stormwater management in a way that some tracks were used in that way. The design is such a way that water should be throughout various galleries, various alley system, we call it, and it goes out to some tank, some artificial lakes that government is creating. So in such a way, we can water harvesting system. So that is a stormwater management system which the municipality generally does, and the rainwater harvesting system that we this is all about water harvesting system.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And there's one more question for you, Kapil sir, that is not in panel actually, but I have received it. That is, what will be the green buildings market in India in upcoming years? And are there any initiatives by Government of India for the same? So that is for you, Kapil sir.
So India is also very concerned about energy efficient building. How we can make a building without having the resources. How we can actually just designing and paperwork. It's a very growing market. Every traditional company is now coming up with some sustainable solutions, like cement company, JK Cement, Shree Cement. They are coming up with some sustainable cement solutions which does not require sand. So there is no requirement of sand. There is no requirement of sand mining. So this is the way. It's a very $200 billion market in India in the upcoming 5 years. Many, there are more than 500 products required in a building. So every alternative is required for everything, for air conditioners, for sand, for bricks, for piping system, for glasses, for paints, everything it is required. So it's a very good market, and government is also giving up some incentive for the sustainable manufacturing companies for the same. Yes, they are also working on a directory. Bureau of Energy Efficiency is also working on a directory for making it very easier for green building consultants, for the building owners to find the green building products in their areas. So this is the way it is working on. Yes, we will see some moves in the upcoming 1 or 2 years by the government for the same. We'll see a lot of boom in this market. Some new products will be definitely being introduced in the upcoming.
Thank you, sir. Shubhabata sir, you can just have a look on the panel, and there is one more question. I believe that is confidential. Like, please share the format for rating system.
We can share the reference guide. It's freely available in our website. You can go through that, and checklist and everything is there already. If you can have a look at there. So that's the format. What format other you're talking about, I am not sure, but this is what we can do. Yes, it's in our website. It's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sir, there's another question below that, like by Miss Tina Soni. Nowadays, we have new ideas of net zero energy and water building. So how net zero water building is achieved? Is it possible?
Net zero water building, people are, yeah, they are making it. I work in a farm where we made not net zero water building. But right now, when we're talking about net zero, it's we are talking about net zero, not zero. Okay, we're using water, but we're trying to recycle water. So that concept is going on right now. Net zero, not zero. So it is possible. It is right now there are a lot of rating systems also coming up for net zero energy, net zero water, net zero energy. It's the need of the hour, and things are going towards that. But when I am talking about everyone, because net zero, not zero, everyone is not doing it. There is certain class of sectors of people who is doing it. and slowly that has to go to the all the details of our life, all the sectors, all the masses, all the movement. So I think in terms of movement, if you're talking about, yeah, we are slowly going towards that, but that concept has arrived, and India, a lot of projects are there where we have used net zero energy and net zero water. Yes, it's possible. Anything, Mr. Kapil, you want to add on here
This already completed.
regarding net zero?
We have already completed our scenario. So this we can't create a water that is yes, but we can save the water. One thing mention I was working is a building made by Haryana. That building in the first year started not using the municipality water and the municipality electricity from body after 1 year. That is a net zero building. It has already saved its water in the first rain. It has a pit groundwater as well as the storage tank for saving the water. Because every year rains comes up, that is why it is created and that we can save it. Another is for the electricity, they have already installed 30 kilowatt solar. Building is a green building, so energy consumption is even lower than the capacity that they have installed. So that is a net zero building. So this way net zero can be achievable. It is not a zero building, it's a net zero.
Okay. So, Kapil sir, related to your presentation, there was one more question which I have received. What are the new developments in green building materials and how they are more impactful than current building materials?
So the new green building materials, as I already mentioned, that existing product companies are also coming up with the new sustainable products. Okay, like JK Cement is coming up with that kind of cement, does not require sand or any other things. So that way, these products are different because they are not harming the environment. That is why they are different from the traditional product that we sand, even the air conditioners. They are more efficient energy saving air conditioners are coming up that does not consume more electricity as per the traditional. So this is very good in market, and yes, after 10 years will be alternative of the current product that we are using. That is the alarming situation. Yesterday also might be everyone has seen a report by IPCC, International Committee for the Climate Change, that sometime after 30 years, 12 cities of India will be drowned. So what is the impact? We have to concern for that. We have to make buildings, the energy consumption, lower down the energy consumption and don't harm our environment. So that is why some new products and materials are also required for making green building.
Thank you, sir. And Shubhabrata sir, there's one question, another question by one of the students. They have been asking, like, are there any opportunities for students in terms of employment or career scope in green building sector?
Yeah, green building sector is just, you can see, even if it started like around 2000 in India, I'm talking about, and it picked up around 2007. This is the time where this building is, this industry really building up. It is getting all kinds of help policy wise, awareness wise, like universities like CM is there, and we all are like slowly going towards that. So you can see of the students right now who are into this field. Green building means I am not talking about green building consultancy directly, or I am talking about anyone who is aware of this subject itself. They even in the CSR programs, big companies like Infosys also has a green initiative division. Mahindra has a green initiative division. Wipro has a division. They all are either they're talking about energy, the water, or green buildings, or something related to these sustainable development goals they are working in. So anybody who has this kind of experiences, that is for their biodata, it's really a good thing. If they have a GEM certifications program, this credential, it's a plus, and all these things will somehow add up in your curriculum, in your experience, and in your achievements later. आपका जो प्लेसमेंट होगा, कुछ भी होगा, तो ग्रीन बिल्डिंग के बारे में आपको जानते हैं. सो बहुत सारी चीजें का आंसर आप वहां पे दे सकते हैं, बिकॉज यू नो वेयर द इंडस्ट्री इज गोइंग टुवर्ड्स. सो दैट्स हाउ इट इज, डायरेक्टली, समटाइम्स इनडायरेक्टली, मेनी टाइम्स.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kapil sir, is there anything to add in this point for this question?
It's a industry.
In terms of career prospects, Kapil sir?
Yes. So I'm audible now? Audible.
Maybe there's some disturbance.
I'm audible now? Audible now?
We'll move on, sir.
I'm audible
So
now?
yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So my point is that already as I described that industry is a billion-dollar industry. A lot of developments are coming up in the upcoming years. So there will be jobs not only in the green building rating system or the certification or the designing, but a lot of jobs in the manufacturing sector for developing new products, for developing new technology. I have mentioned 500 products are required in making a building. So there is a potential in the manufacturing sector as well, for cement industry, for coming up with a hybrid air conditioners, for the POC, for the classes and others. There are a lot of developments are coming up. Yes, there will be jobs in the green building certification, consultancy, as in the manufacturing sector, which I suppose if goes with as the planning of the government, because this is a sector, this is the initiative which can't be succeeded by the intervention of government. Government is already very concerned, and as we are seeing the report from the national committees for the climate change, that this is required. So you will see a drastic change in the upcoming 5 years.
Yes. Thank you, Kapil sir. And again, I'll switch it over to you, Shubhabrata sir. There's
Yeah,
another
please.
question like, how do we measure the environmental outcome or the optimized energy outcome of future buildings or green buildings?
So there are, you're talking about, I think you're talking about energy simulations and energy modeling. You're talking about optimizing the energy because
yes. Like
yes.
the question is in like the output of green buildings, how it will be calculated, or the output of future buildings, how it can be calculated.
See,
Like,
buildings in terms of outputs, I can see only there are two things. One is about water, one is about energy, right?
yes.
So about those things, see, the outputs will be terms in terms of simulations, right? Right now, when you're making something, and that thing is already existing. It's not about only future. Right now, also we are making a lot of energy modulation. Somebody is asking about that also, simulation software and everything. So when you are designing, that time you exactly can predict what kind of output or what kind of you can say performance the building will operate. And after that, slowly over the period of time, there are tools where you can understand when in the operation period, in the maintenance period, that thing slowly deteriorates over the period of time. So कभी भी एक सिमुलेशंस का प्रोग्राम्स होता है जहाँ पे हम लोग फैक्टर्स लेके हम समझ सकते हैं कि ऑप्टिमाइजेशंस के लिए like you are thinking about operation and maintenance के time में, right? There are existing buildings there you cannot design. And that time there are tools where you can have some certain kinds of utility readings out of it. ये कैसा function करना चाहिए था, कैसा function कर रहा है, so you can have a kind of analysis out of it. So it is very layman term I'm talking about. And energy modeling software, we have Equest is there. Mr. Kapil is very much acquainted with it. So we are already in it in terms of outputting our energy and water things. Okay, it's already there existing. If you want any technical things, then you might take some classes, and who is asking these questions, I think he is interested in the technicalities, then you must take some energy simulation classes and understand, and we can provide that, of course, no issues. So those things can be taken in details, yeah, discussed in details.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like apart from this, sir, I see only one last question, and we do not have any more questions in panel now.
Yeah, sure.
This is like, how do we measure the asset value of future buildings? It is similar to what I had asked earlier, I think so.
I think you're talking about life cycle cost analysis or something like that.
Yes.
So life cycle cost analysis, there are softwares where you are trying to put everything that goes into the building, and with a kind of व्हाट डू कॉल इट, कितने साल के लिए आप बिल्डिंग सोच रहे हैं, 10 साल के लिए, 50 साल के लिए, कितना सोच के लिए? अभी आप छोटा सा बिल्डिंग अपार्टमेंट बनाएंगे, देन यू कैन नॉट थिंक ऑफ 50 years, nobody thinks like that. If you, but if you're making any universities, you might think of 100 years, 200 years. So that kind of thing, there are a lot of analysis, there are a lot of inputs go into it. First of all, you have to very much well informed what we are putting into it. उसके हिसाब से हर चीज का, हर मेटल का अपना एम्बेडेड एनर्जी का रहता है, हर एक चीज का अपना इंपॉर्टेंस रहता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ एनवायरमेंट, इन टर्म्स ऑफ एनर्जी, इन टर्म्स ऑफ एनी अदर एनवायरमेंटल फैक्टर्स. So when this life cycle cost, there are softwares, there are specialists, there are consultants available in India and abroad as well. So that is how the asset is being created. And life cycle cost analysis के लिए there are these are the parameters that we give ultimate importance right now. So ये चीज एक फ्यूचर में ये भी एक एग्जिस्टिंग स्कोप है. आप जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट के क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे, जॉब के क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे, लाइफ साइकिल कॉस्ट एनालिसिस इज गोइंग टू बी वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट थिंग इन द ग्रीन बिल्डिंग इंडस्ट्री दैट्स इमर्जिंग.
Thank you, sir. Kapil sir, would you like to add anything, as if this is the last question here about the life cycle of the building?
So that depends that the building for how much time will it. So most of the things which we are planning, we plan at plant one key. So all the green buildings which are also coming up, that we plan in such a way that has a good land. Take example from our ancient buildings are designed in such a way. So mostly people are planning for this. That is the life cycle asset. I think is answer this. I think we have to propose the building in such a way that it will last for more than 500 years. And yes, Maharajas or kings has Chand Bawdi, Amir, which are even I think Mr. Raja Jaising, very good architect and planner. It's not an architect, yes, he very good initiated for the Jaipur city as well. He planned in such a way that this city will last for more than 300 years. Yes, we are preserving it. This is we have to plan in such a way that building will last as much as possible, and yes, maintenance is required for every building. Even for us also we do right. For the commercial buildings, we have a AMC. For every month, there is a maintenance. So building to be designed in such a way that it lasts as much as possible. In such a way, this is a concept in the green building second asset. Every consultant take care of.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kapil sir. So I believe this was the last question, and there are no more questions in panel right now. So I'd like to put up the concluding remarks here, and as I have been attending many of the sessions related to green building sustainability, and I feel like people who are from technical background, from engineering background, like they understand the feasibility, the possibility of having green building technology, and like how these things are going to cope up within future within India. But again, it slowly and gradually it will be adopted by a common human being, a person who is into the building strategy. So slowly it will be definitely adopted, and will come up with a better building technology in future. So any other concluding remarks from you, Shubhabrata sir?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the thing is like, yeah, green building or energy modeling or anything that we are talking about right now today of sustainable development design, it's not a small scope, it's a very large scope. And even if you can take a bit of it, then also you're as a student or as a professional, things will grow, and it must grow in that directions only. So we are just starting it up as a movement, and please join us as much as we can. We are with you, and let's go to much together. That will be my thing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So here itself, I'd like to conclude it, and I feel honored to be a part of today's panel discussion, and I believe it was wonderful learning about green buildings and sustainability for our students, all the academicians who attended, and industry professionals who had joined today in this session. And I would give a big vote of thanks to SHM GEM Green Building Council for associating with UEM Jaipur in this event and coordinating the way throughout with me since last 10 days and finally coming up with an amazing discussion on this forum. So thanks to Mr. Harish, Mr. Deepak, and Mr. Neeraj Arora sir for organizing and supporting this event today. And I'll also like to extend my special thanks to Ishre Jaipur chapter, who has always been closely working with UEM Jaipur since last 4 years and supporting us in all the phases. And special thanks to both the speakers, Mr. Shubhavrata and Mr. Kapil Meghrani, for touching all the unexplored areas in the field of green buildings. So thank you all for joining, and I hope we'll be having these sessions frequently in future again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Durrani sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Subrata ji. Thank you, Kapil ji. Thank you, Bisway ji, Anirudh ji. Thank you for joining this beautiful and fruitful webinar. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.